This mutation is called Magnetic Attraction and is played on Void Thrashing. We have 3 mutators active. We have everyone's favorite mutator, Fatal Attraction, we have We Move Unseen, and we have Mag-nificent. So, let us have a look at the masteries while our resident mutation soloist gets ready. We have Research Cost Reduction, 30 points into the Hyperion cooldown, and we have 30 points into the Mech Attack Speed Mastery. And Raynor is using the P3 Prestige Rebel Raider Prestige. So this is the Air Terran Prestige, and this is also the Prestige that people seem to play very incorrectly, where they use it to try and rush battlecruisers. And generally, that is not the way you play this Prestige, at least not if you do not want to be a burden on your ally. The way you're supposed to be playing this Prestige is you start off with Banshees, and then Vikings, or you do Viking Banshee, and then later on you transition in the mid-game to battlecruisers once you have stabilized the early game, because early game is the part of the game where a lot of people face a lot of pressure. So let us talk about the mutator set a little bit. We have Fatal Attraction, We Move Unseen, and Mag-nificent. As you can see, the Magmines on the map are cloaked with the We Move Unseen mutator, and in addition to that, they will also trigger Fatal Attraction when they detonate. Not when they are triggered, but when they detonate, they will also trigger Fatal Attraction. So you can see over here what Raynor is doing right now. He's just building a lot of orbital command centers. His units are going to be costing 50% more minerals, so he's going to need a very strong economy when it comes to playing this Prestige. And usually the way I usually play P3 Raynor is I start off with 3 orbital command centers and get out a few Vikings and Banshees, and then I put down a further 2 more. I go up to about 5 orbital command centers and keep muling up. Now, that being said, he might be needing a little bit more detection, so he might want to add a few more. We're going to see how he's going to be dealing with this. We can see that the enemy race is Zerg as well, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. So we'll see what the enemy composition is in just a little bit. We have a bunker down as well for Raynor, and he'll be ready to hold. He will need some kind of detection, so he's probably going to end up putting down a missile turret just to be able to detect this attack wave that'll be coming up, unless he wants to use a scan as well. That is another option, but ideally in the early game, especially with P3, you really want to drop those mules and really want to get as many minerals out as you can, because you gotta get those early command centers up. If you are not going to be able to get those command centers up, it will severely cripple your economy and will significantly slow you down throughout the course of the game. It'll be very difficult to deal with the later mission objectives as well. And this is really difficult with P3 Raynor. It's a very careful balance of more economy versus more army. And it's kind of the reason why I like that Prestige so much. It makes you think at every stage of the game whether you should be putting in, you should build an extra Viking or an extra Banshee, or if you can go a little bit greedy and build a command center. But yes, by all means, do not use this Prestige to rush battlecruisers unless you have a very clear idea what you are doing. Banshee Airstrike comes down, deals with the attack wave, and one Banshee gets split off from the rest, and this Banshee is going to be first clearing out this enemy camp of any Magmines that are present. And right now, since there are no more Magmines, the rest of these Banshees can come up and they can clear the Void Thrasher. Now, one of the things is Magmines with Fatal Attraction can be pretty deadly if you are not paying attention. What can happen is that your army can get pulled by Fatal Attraction, and then your army will get hit by Magmine, and your army will get completely deleted. And that is very unfortunate, because one of the things is the Magmine damage is bugged in the same way that Han Horner's Magmine damage is bugged. The slash damage is applied and multiplied per unit that gets hit by the Magmine. So if you have 2 units that get hit by the Magmine, it deals 2 times the splash damage to all the units that get hit by the Magmine. So it is actually, it's a miscalculation there, and it deals an insane amount of damage. It's usually why you can see Han Horner actually deleting entire attack waves with one set of Magmine. Hyperion almost gone, so what he does now is tactical jump the Hyperion right into this enemy base, and because of that, he's able to clear out at least a few of these Magmines, and now he basically has to wait, and he's going to be taking up and building up a little bit more of an army until his next Hyperion is out. And this is really the stage of the game where you really want to ramp up. So as you can see, 3 orbital command centers have been completed, a 4th command center is ready and will also probably be converted to an orbital command center once there are enough minerals available. And really, as you can see, not enough minerals available here. And we also have a 5th one on the way. And yeah, Raynor is just slowly taking up, wants to build up the army that he needs, and as he builds up his army, he will also be able to reduce the cooldown of the Hyperion, and he'll be able to spam it. And if you're maxed out on this, you can get the Hyperion downtime is something like 30 or 40 seconds. So you spawn your Hyperion, you use it, it warps away, and then 40 seconds later you can spawn another Hyperion. It is very, very, very strong if used correctly, but I think a lot of people do struggle in the early game where they try and actually build battlecruisers, and battlecruisers are not the way to go. They are strong units, but they are not efficient in terms of minerals and gas that you spend per supply, because remember, your Hyperion cooldown is directly linked to the supply that you are using for your air army, and battlecruisers are just not that efficient when it comes to it. In addition to that, battlecruisers aren't really good when there's one or two of them. You need a lot of them for them to be really, really effective. Next attack wave is on the way, and this first part should be just a bunch of Zerglings. And okay, there is one random Mutalisk over here. There should be a few more Mutalisks in the rest of that attack wave, but they will be on the way as well. Banshee Airstrike gets used, deletes a whole bunch of Zerglings, and now the next part of this attack wave is here, and the SCV, for some reason, is just hanging around the front line here. This Banshee getting sent. I think he's going to be sent towards the third base to try and trigger out some more of these Mag-mines. So I think that's probably what the plan is for Raynor, and he's going to be sending the rest of his Banshees as well. I think this one is just basically going to be used for the same reason as the first one that got split off at the start of the game, just to trigger some more of these Mag-mines and just clear out as much as he possibly can. So that'll just make it a little bit easier when he wants to try and use the Hyperion again. And remember that the Hyperion is a pretty fat unit. It has a very large footprint, so it's very easy for it to get hit by random things like Mag-mines and whatnot. So what do we have in production over here? We have two Banshees on the way. We have a set of missile turrets that is being built over here. These missile turrets will provide detection for Raynor's army so that he can deal with the next attack wave that'll be spawning in near the northern side of the map. There we go, that's the attack wave that is there, and it'll be making its way towards Raynor's expansion, so he needs to have some kind of detection. The Banshees should be able to clear out the Zerglings because they also have the Shockwave missile battery, which gives them a little splash damage as well. The Hyperion also getting used over here to provide a little bit of assistance to Raynor's army. He's probably going to end up tactical jumping it right into this enemy base here and start to work away on the next set of Void Thrashers that have spawned, because the Void Thrashers are out and they are starting to deal a little bit of damage to Sergeant Hammer's fortress. So where is this Hyperion going to be going? There we go, tactical jump over, and now Hyperion is going to start attacking some more of these units, and there's also a scan here to help the Hyperion at least deal a little bit of damage. And this Infestor now getting attacked, starts to spaz out, cast some more of his egg abilities as well, spawning some infested Terrans, and now the Hyperion again in the last second, just moving around, just trying to trigger as more of these Mag-mines as possible. And now we have the Banshees getting used here with their cloak upgrade, so giving them the extra range to their weapon. They're getting extra 2 range, and that should help them keep them out of the sights of the enemy Zerg that is there. Unfortunately, the Void Thrasher also will not re-aggro to these Banshees, which means that Sergeant Hammer's Fortress is still going to be taking a little bit of damage to the Void Thrasher, but that is perfectly okay. So Void Thrasher will end up going down, and now these Banshees are done. They will probably end up decloaking right there, and they want to try and regenerate some more of their energy. The expansion has been captured as well with the help of the Banshees. Rocks have been cleared, and now we have 5 starports out for Raynor, and we also now have the fusion core. Notice how Raynor is transitioning into ideally maybe some battlecruisers. I'm not really sure if he wants to do battlecruisers yet, but he's sitting at about 100 supply, which is usually when I consider a battlecruiser transition, depending on the state of the mission. Usually what happens is at about 100 supply, I take a look at the game and, just ask myself, how are we doing? Are we doing okay? Are we doing badly? Are we behind? Are we ahead? And if we are not behind, I will go into battlecruisers. Otherwise, I will continue to build some more Banshees. And yeah, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. So Fatal Attraction hits, it clumps up all your enemy units, all your units get clumped up, and then one Mag-mine hits and deals a crazy amount of damage and wipes out your entire army. And that is basically how you lose the mission with this mutation. And now luckily for Raynor, this was, I think, his Banshee airstrike, so it's not really too big of a deal, and now the Hyperion will be moving in. And this is also kind of the funny thing, is because the Hyperion is a single unit, it can actually tank a little bit more the Mag-mines. You obviously do not want to do something like this, but he is actually utilizing the Hyperion to try and just trigger as many Mag-mines as possible, and now his Banshees are ready to go in and snipe these Void Thrashers. He again has to be a little bit careful. There is another attack wave that has spawned on the northern side of the map, so he will have to deal with that attack wave as well. There should be enough. There is a random barracks over here, I think, to just try and soak up a little bit of damage from the Mulus, but he does have his bunkers out, and they are loaded with Marines as well. And now you can see here, this is the battlecruiser transition I was talking about. Like, pretty much exactly on schedule. He's going to be building his battlecruisers right now because he can, and he is actually doing okay as well. He's not really behind in terms of the game. Even though Sergeant Hammer's Fortress is sitting at about 2,700 HP, it will probably end up... It's probably going to end up at about 2,000, 2,200 HP by the time all the Void Thrashers do end up going down. But again, the goal is just carefully threading this needle and making sure that you do not get hit. Unfortunately, there is also a Viper that has tried to take out some more of these units here, but again, we have now the battlecruiser, and these battlecruisers will be able to help deal a little bit of damage. He has to be careful with the Scourge. The Scourge was really nasty over there. Does end up catching out a lot of that battlecruiser and kills off that one battlecruiser that was there. So that is also one of the reasons why going for the battlecruiser transition is very tricky, especially against zero compositions where you can get parasitic bombed. Going for Vikings, on the other hand, you can get the Shockwave missile battery upgrade and the advanced optics upgrade. Not the Shockwave missile battery, what's the other upgrade? There's the upgrade, it's the Phobos weapon system upgrade, I think, for the Vikings that makes them deal splash damage. You can also get the advanced optics upgrade, which gives them the extra range. Makes it very convenient when it comes to dealing with attack waves, especially Zerg, where you want to keep them off your army. Like, a bunch of Vikings can just completely shred through Zerg attack waves very effectively. So, Banshee Airstrike is going to expire just as the next attack wave spawned, but again, Raynor does not really care. His goal is to just move around and just trigger as many of these mag mines as possible, and this Hyperion is probably going to end up warping away, but again, not really too much of an issue. 200 seconds against the next Hyperion spawns, and again, the goal here is to not clear this enemy base. He's not really interested in doing that. He wants to just remove the mag mines from here so that he doesn't end up getting murdered. And now there's a little bit of inhumanity because this is going to make JYK very happy. He's dropping, I think that was a Marine. Was that a Marine? I'm not sure what was killed over there. Yes, it was a Marine. So JYK is going to be very proud. Marines just being rained into this enemy base here just to clear out mag mines. This is the way. This is the way of inhumanity over there. But again, like you said, it doesn't really matter too much. One of these Vikings do end up getting killed off, but that Guardian is going to end up going down. And unfortunately, this battlecruiser is going to end up getting taken out as well. Does he try and use his afterburner, tries to get away? Unfortunately, that battlecruiser is not going anywhere. So the Void Thrashers have spawned now, and yeah, Sergeant Hammer's Fortress is sitting at about 2,500 HP. He's gonna have to be very careful when he tries to snipe this Void Thrasher. Again, this Banshee Airstrike is going to be able to take out at least one, maybe even two Void Thrashers, if he's actually going to be mitering them a little bit and not allowing them to take that much damage. But I think that one Void Thrasher will end up going down before its next ability is casted. Unfortunately, the Fatal Attraction does end up making it pulled towards the enemy base here, and because of the detection, there is a parasitic bomb here. So those two Banshee Airstrikes are going to end up going down. Hyperion getting used as well over here again, and again clearing out some more of the mag mines over here, and that is actually reasonably effective, because what he's going to be able to do now is going to be able to snipe this Void Thrasher from this side. So that is going to help out Raynor a little bit as well. We have some more Banshees being utilized here, and that Void Thrasher also goes down with a tactical jump from these battlecruisers. And these battlecruisers now are going to be moving around. They have to be very careful. There are a lot of mag mines over here, and there are air blockers as well, so he has to be extra careful. There is one yoink here, but unfortunately for the Viper, not close enough, and there we go. Those battlecruisers might end up actually dying. There we go. So that Fatal Attraction does end up killing off a good chunk of the battlecruisers over here, and I think that one might also end up getting hit. Again, those battlecruisers all going down. This is exactly why Fatal Attraction is deadly. If your army is clumped up and you get hit by Magmine, it's pretty much GG. You're going to lose out a lot of the stuff. There is no detection here for Amon, so it's just going to like force just take this out, and that is all of them. Oh, that is that Void Thrasher gone. There is one more left. He has to be, again, very careful. He'll probably be able to use the Hyperion over here. Oh, that was extremely unfortunate. That was another Magmine detonation there, and there is just a little bit of HP left. I think he's just going to focus it down. Hyperion being utilized as well. Some Devourers have joined into the fight. Hyperion is able to fight even though Fatal Attraction is being annoying and pulling it left, right, and center, so that is also possible. Unfortunately, some more Magmines do end up coming out here, and Raynor's army has been completely obliterated. That Void Thrasher has so little HP left. It had like yellow HP, I think. Raynor has to try and do something to deal with this, but there's another attack wave on the way, and this attack wave now has actually taken out this missile turrets over here. And luckily for Raynor, there are no Scourge over here, so all Raynor has to do is use his Vikings to deal with these Mulisks and these Guardians. Unfortunately, the Devourers are the problem, because the Devourers actually deal bonus damage to Armored, and they are dealing like 39 damage each, so Raynor has to hold temporarily until his next cooldown, I think, comes up available. It is going to be a little bit difficult here for Raynor. He did try and get his battlecruisers out. Unfortunately, Fatal Attraction, very nasty mutator when combined with Mag-nificent. So this is going to be somewhat problematic. Raynor has to try and just hold a little bit. He is trying to mine out a little bit more as well, but he has managed to take it out with a final snipe here. I'm going to have a look and see what happened, so we'll just have a look at that. But this is the attack wave that was attacking Raynor's base. I did actually completely miss that last Void Thrasher to get taken out, and because there was a lot of carnage that was going on over here. So Raynor does float this barracks away, just trying to draw a little bit more aggro. And yeah, okay, so there was a Banshee army that was here, and he's just basically going to make a beeline for that Void Thrasher and just try and snipe it without, before Amon's forces just murder him. Remember, there are Vipers as well in this enemy base, but again, yeah, like I said, there was very little HP left on the Void Thrasher. That was the last Void Thrasher that ended up getting cleared out, and his base is getting ravaged, and that is GG.